Hello Gemini, my name's Jason. Thank you for visiting my channel. Extra thanks if you're revisiting my channel. This is your general tarot reading for January 2019. The general reading, so it could be about love, career, any special projects you've got on, questions at the forefront of your mind. This is the second reading I've done on this one. I got most of the way through the first one and interruptions happen, you know how things are. But that one talked about just picking everything up and moving to another town, basically, or really thinking about it. So we'll see how we go with this one. Okay, you go into January 2019 with the Wheel of the year. This is the Witch's Tarot, so I think the Wheel of Fortune, stroke of luck coming for you. This is feeling really good. So things are working in your favour that you haven't necessarily had a lot to do with. You've had a little bit to do with it, but it wasn't a conscious goal. But whatever it was has turned into a real bonus for you. So there's a real turn of luck coming for you. We'll find out what that is about. We'll clarify that later with the Hanson Roberts deck. So what a great start to January. All right. Okay. You have what's crossing you, the King of Cups. So perhaps there's a person in your environment who seems to, they're in control of things and they're in control of their emotions, okay? Now, if this is not a water sign, this is someone who is very conservative in their ways and they might be sort of stopping things from moving forward somehow, not because they don't like change, but because they like slow change if they like it. And because that's crossing the wheel quite often talks about things moving fairly quickly and unexpectedly. So perhaps there could be some energy which is slowing you down a little bit. It's not a negative energy so much. It's just an energy which wants to get everything right. Okay, and I'm feeling that it could be based on the slowing down of things might be based on emotional issues rather than on practical issues. Okay. So we'll have a look at that and see how that plays out. Okay, your conscious goal, you have the Seven of Wands. Okay, so looks like you're trying to defend some kind of a decision, Gemini. So perhaps you've made a decision or you want to make a decision about something, but you're feeling that you've got to stand your ground on this. So whatever it is, there may be a lot of people working against you. Okay, so it could be something to do with this change which the Wheel of Fortune is bringing, and it feels like to me that you want this to happen, but there's a few things that you need to sort of put in place to make it happen. A few people you might need to persuade to make it happen. Okay, but generally with the Seven of Wands, you're acting on a matter of principle. Okay, we'll try and clarify that a little later. We need to. Your unconscious or unknown influence, you have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords talks about making a decision when you don't have all the information. Okay, so you see this lady here, she's blindfolded. There's the moon in the background there, which indicates perhaps a little bit of deception. And she's crossing those swords across her chest, which might indicate that she's protecting herself. She's either protecting herself, defending herself, either emotionally or in practical matters. Okay, we'll try and clarify that as well. So it looks like there's information which needs to come out, or someone needs to make a decision and you don't quite know how they're thinking. Okay, so how they're thinking and the decision they make might have a big impact on where this all goes. Okay, so in your past, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles, as your past influence or recent past, talks about independence. So you've got this feeling recently that you or someone around you just seeks independence, a little bit more, not so much freedom. Independence is a little bit different to freedom. Independence means you do what you want when you need to do it. Okay, but we all have these boundaries which we need, and things which tie us down. For example, you can't go off and travel the world and just leave your family at home like that and do that with a clear conscience. Independence and financial security quite often go together, okay? So the ability to just spend money on what you think you want, okay, especially if you're in a pretty good position. So this is the past influences. It looks like someone, either you or someone around you, has recently just tried to express some kind of independence from you. Perhaps they want to do something that you're not really interested in doing. Something, it doesn't have to be a big deal, but it might demonstrate slightly different values, and it might indicate that you may be growing apart somehow from someone. Okay, so that could have been happening just recently, that you started to feel that you've grown apart from somebody. Perhaps either you are feeling more independent, or they are, or they want to express their independence somehow. We'll clarify this. Okay, in the future influence, you have the Eight of Pentacles. So it looks like working towards something. Okay, so you could be working towards a relationship, working towards a goal that you've been setting. Perhaps you've been working towards moving into a new town. I don't know why that came up. That came up in my last reading for Gemini as well. But there are just a few more things that you need to work out, or perhaps this job is requiring you to move to a new town, or there's an opportunity to move to a new town. If it's not that, then it could be about a new course, a new learning that you need to do. Okay, so you might be offered, for example, some professional development related to the job you already have, I'm feeling, okay? So, and that might allow you some kind of growth, some personal growth that you hadn't quite seen before. And you may have even applied for that, and you're just waiting for the offer to come in. Let's have a look now, your talents. Okay, so where you are at the moment, you have the Six of Wands. Okay, so the Six of Wands is a card of victory. Okay, so it looks as though you have the recognition that you need, you have some status, and you have some moving forward. Okay, so you've got those other people behind you, they're moving forward with you, but you're the one who has the status of leadership, or you've taken control somehow, and you're moving forward after receiving this recognition, and that's where you're at. So it looks like you're in a pretty good spot right now, but it's when you've got the Six of Wands, yes, you do have that, but you can't just rest on your laurels and say, well, okay, I'm the champion now and that's it. To stay number one, you've got to work like you're number two. I heard an athlete say that once. Okay, your environment and your position in your environment, you have the Ten of Cups here. Now, the Ten of Cups is the happiest card in the deck, or one of the happiest cards in the tarot deck. It's got to deal with emotional fulfillment. Okay, so again, it looks like you're in a pretty good spot as far as that goes. So hoping your family and your relationship with the world, you're feeling pretty good about the world and your place in it, and your immediate environment. Okay, that's what that's telling us there. And when you're in a good space with your family and your loved ones, and you have a good sense of belonging, then making decisions is so much easier, and you can make decisions from a position of strength and goodwill, rather than from fear. So I'm hoping that's where you're at the moment. Your fears, your hopes and fears for the month of January, you have the Six of Cups. Okay, so you're either hoping that you can get back to the old days, or you're fearing that someone from the past or some issue from the past is coming. Okay, so we'll have to clarify that as well. But there's a sense of nostalgia I'm feeling here with this. Do you want to stay in the past, or do you want to move forward? That's a good question for all of us to ask ourselves. And the outcome, you have the Seven of Cups, and so the outcome for January is plenty of choice. Okay, perhaps some confusion, but generally it's choice, and it's I like the Seven of Cups because it says to me there's plenty of choice available to you, and it's just a matter of choosing the right ones. You might have to focus a little bit though. So the message quite often with the Seven of Cups is to focus and choose one of these cups or a couple, but sometimes seven is just too many to handle. Okay, but we'll clarify these anyway. Okay, we'll clarify these with the Hanson Roberts deck. I gave these a pretty good shuffle just before. Just give them another quick one now. We'll go around, we'll have a look at what is this King of Cups energy, which seems to be crossing the Wheel of Fortune. Now, I said it was perhaps someone who wants slow change, okay, and they might be resisting change for emotional reasons, or slowing down change for emotional reasons rather than logical reasons. So, find out here, Spirit, please, can you tell us why is the King of Cups? Why is the King of Cups here? Please clarify the King of Cups. Why is that crossing the wheel? We have here the Hanged Man. Okay, so the Hanged Man talks about changing perspective. Okay, so I'm thinking that this King of Cups energy needs to change their perspective, okay? Or they're waiting for someone. This King of Cups themselves is waiting for another decision, okay? So there seems to be a lot of waiting here. But that's what it seems to be saying. So it looks like when we have the Hanged Man, it's not an uncomfortable position necessarily. So this person hanging upside down there, he's not really uncomfortable. He's thinking, and look at that sort of light bulb behind his head. He's waiting for a great idea to come to him. So perhaps this King of Cups person is just a bit hesitant because it's not all mapped out for them. There's still one or two things to sort of put in place, or maybe doesn't want to leave things behind. How can he do this without hurting people? Or because I said it was some kind of an emotional issue there. We'll clarify the Seven of Wands. Why is the Seven of Wands here for the conscious goal position? Why does Gemini need to defend themselves or defend their decisions here? Defend what they want to put into place, this change that they want. So there's changes obviously there with the wheel. Definitely there's some change, and it's good luck. It's a good luck that I'm feeling from this. But why does Gemini need to defend this, or feel they need to defend it? Okay, King of Cups again. Okay, so that's confirmed that they're dealing with an emotional person, a person who's really held up, not really thinking practically about things. So the King of Cups is generally a pretty good and stable energy, but they are all about emotions really, and even though they don't show much emotion, their decisions are based on emotion, and because that's in this position, which seems to be slowing things down, you might need to be persuading this person in an emotional way rather than in a logical way. So I suppose when we're trying to persuade people, there's always an element of, well, the emotive arguments versus the logical, rational arguments. And it looks here as though you might need to be standing your ground or defending yourself on an emotional level. I wish there was more from that. Let's try and clarify that King of Cups one more time. What seems to be the issue? What really is the issue here with this change? Why is the King of Cups blocking this change here for Gemini? Okay, we've got the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles talks about balance, and it's about allocation of resources. Okay, so there's an allocation of resources which seems to be slowing the works down as well. Now, if this is about Pentacles talks about money and material things usually, so I'm feeling that there might be something about leaving the home or selling the family home to make this move and take advantage of this opportunity. If it's not the family home, it's how are these assets going to be divvied up? And because we have the Nine of Pentacles over here, if it's about a separation or a divorce, perhaps that's what that's about as well. It could be about separating or the assets, okay, allocating the assets or the resources, how they need to be fairly sort of allocated. That's what I'm thinking there. And someone's got one idea and someone else has got a different idea. I can't get any closer than that, I'm feeling. Let's have a look at this Two of Swords decision. So the unknown influence, this decision which needs to be made. Why is the Two of Swords here? And we have here the Lovers. Okay, so there could be here someone choosing between two different lovers. Okay, or it could be that someone is making a choice. So the Lovers card is often about choice as well. So if it's not about actually like a someone needing to make a choice between two lovers, it could be about just a choice of which way to go. Now, the Lovers, when you're talking about love, we're talking about passion. We're talking about really following what we really want, what our soul wants. And because it's clarifying the Two of Swords, it's looking like that's what the issue is. Okay, it's what does our passion really want? And I said before that you don't necessarily know what this other person wants, and that might be what's holding it up. So perhaps you need to communicate to this other person that you really need to know what they want. Okay, they're holding back on telling you, or perhaps you haven't heard it the right way. So let's have a look here at the Six of Wands. So feeling pretty good about things. I don't think we need to clarify that. The Ten of Cups, generally your environment is pretty good and pretty solid. That's what it's looking like. Now, what is this Six of Cups in the hopes and fears? So Six of Cups in the hopes and fears. Why is Gemini worried about something from the past? Let's clarify that. Something from the past which is influencing the hopes and fears. Let's clarify that for Gemini for January 2019. And we have the Empress. Okay, so perhaps there is someone in the family might be pregnant, okay, or there's some new start happening. I'm feeling that there's a pregnancy around somewhere. Perhaps a younger person is pregnant. Perhaps a son or a daughter might be pregnant, and that might be changing the way these plans work out, these decisions. It seems to be about all waiting. We seem to be waiting for decisions and planning. That's what I'm getting there with the Empress card, and that's because it's with the Six of Cups. Where I'm feeling about children, feeling about someone younger than you, and that's why I'm thinking perhaps it's a son or a daughter might be getting pregnant, and it might be impacting the decisions. Let's have a look here at this Seven of Cups. Why is the Seven of Cups here in the outcome for January? So there's lots of choice here for Gemini. And Seven of Cups is clarified by the Five of Wands. Okay, so the Five of Wands talks about some arguing and some squabbling, and it can be internal conflict as well. Now, these people aren't really trying to harm each other that much. They're just squabbling. They're just sort of, tapping the sticks. Okay, so it's not a real serious issue. Quite often it's just about egos. Let's see if we can narrow that. What is the conflict caused by all this choice? Why are these people arguing about this choice? We have here Six of Cups again. Okay, so we've got another Six of Cups. So it looks like there's some young people involved, okay, and it's looking like something from the past, but it's looking like children are definitely involved here, young kids. So perhaps someone doesn't want to pick up and move the kids, okay, or they don't want to separate from the children, or they don't want to separate the children from another environment. Again, there's a very strong family feel here. The Six of Cups has come up twice in the hopes and fears and in the outcome. So they're going to have a big impact on things. Look, that's what I got for you, Gemini. Sorry, it's a little bit all over the place. But please like and subscribe. Please comment on any how this resonates for you. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll hopefully talk to you in a couple of weeks.